analysis number 11. This replay analysis will focus on the Templar Assassin, who is around 5k MMR. I'm not trying to cast the game, so Dire wins this game, TA snowballs. And what this replay analysis will focus on is, I think the biggest thing is how to farm when you're ahead and how to not throw a lead. Because TA win this game, and it's very convincingly, but I think that Dota is complex enough that no matter how the game goes, you can always learn from something, and holy shit, I forgot to get water. So that is not good. But anyways, I'm just going to talk, and I'm going to feel really parched because I don't want to get up and get water. But anyways, I'm just going to start this game. So it starts off pretty standard. I'm actually skipping the laning phase because I don't really want to cover that again. There's always the basic things of like, as soon as you spawn in, you should always run. If you're the mid laner, you should probably contest the rune, one of the runes with your teams, just because of the bounty rune change. Really good. I actually don't know which version this was played on. I'm assuming it's actually before the bounty runes were changed, but I actually have no idea. I don't really care. So anyways, the biggest thing is, for the laning phase, I guess, since I skipped the first 5 minutes, but I'm still going to talk about it a bit, is when you're TA and you have traps, you want to make sure you have enough traps out, just because how the traps work, they're going to charge up. Like, if you place it and use it right away, it starts at 30, after 5 seconds it's going to be at 50% slow. So you actually want 2 traps mid, 1 trap on either rune, and then 1 trap for just use. And the traps mid can either be like 1 here, or like 2 here. And you just want these preemptively placed, because then they slow for more. Anyways, that's not really important. TA, this game is really good about controlling runes, which means that she's able to farm a lot. When you control runes, you basically, what happens is you free up the courier for your allies, and you have a chance of getting a really good game-changing rune, like a double damage or a haste. Double damage early game, I mean, it's good, but the best thing about double damage for heroes like TA mid is that you can farm a giant stack with them, honestly. Like, if you have an ancient stack and you pick up a DD, you can get that ancient stack, you can get Roshan, and it's useful that way. Haste is the best rune for sure early game, other than that. Anyways, the TA gets ganked, it's not very successful. There's a counter gank by Jakiro. Good reaction by the other team. They're gonna get a kill on Puck here, but again, I need to skip further in, because I basically, the entire thing I want to talk about is your farming pattern and how to farm when you're ahead. Because what a lot of people, I think, don't realize enough of in Dota is that when you farm, you want to be taking away farm from your opponents. So like, if you farm the enemy jungle, not only are you getting farm, but they're basically losing farm. And when you're behind, if you've ever played a Dota game from behind against like some competent opponents, you realize that there aren't enough, actually maybe I should say with competent allies, that is that there's not enough space on the map to farm. And this is especially true when you have heroes like Luna or Legion Commander who basically need to farm a lot in the game in order to be useful. You'll run out of space on the map, and if the enemy is taking 2 of your camps, then you're just restricted by that much more. Like, that's an extra 200 GPM the enemy's gaining on you. 200 gold the enemy's gaining on you every minute. And that will just increase your lead and prevent the enemy team from coming back. A lot of people, like, they sort of complain about the patch being comeback mechanics, and it's really easy to come back in this patch, but I mean, it's sort of true, but sort of also not true, because especially this was really proved at DAC, like the laning phase matters a lot. And like taking map control with heroes like Chen and getting into the enemy's jungle, getting onto the enemy side of the map, had a huge impact in the tournaments. And like, I don't know, like part of why we won the tournament is because I think as a team we were good about that. We were good about taking control of the enemy's jungle, making sure they couldn't farm a lot, so that, like, I don't think as a team we threw a game that tournament, like a huge game. Like, we definitely lost games during the group stage and to Vici in the winner bracket, but it was never really because we had a big lead and then we didn't take proper map control, and then we lost one big team fight because they were still able to secure core items, and then we lost. And that's a very important part. Is my stream even running? Please, I hope my stream's running. Okay, my stream is running. That's a very important part of Dota. So anyways, one of the ways you can do this as TA, in order to limit your opponents, is you actually just put traps on the camps. Like, right onto the camps, because then you'll always see Stones farming it. And then when you're ahead and the map, usually if you're ahead, the map gets split like this. So, oh sorry, I should do it like this. If you're ahead on Dire, so you get these 3 camps, you get your Ancients, you get these 3 camps, and usually the enemy is able to like at least get these 2 camps if they've taken this tower. If you have a trap on these 2 camps, these camps, then you'll always be able to see your enemies, and you'll be able to play really aggressive and sort of push into the enemy's farm territory and take that over. And then you gain a gold advantage, and then you win the game. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna skip ahead here a bit more because I really want to start. Actually, I should go back a bit. When another thing I want to talk about, I'll talk about the farm pattern later. But another thing I want to talk about is like, as a mid player, when the enemy hero leaves the lane, like the best thing you can do is pressuring this mid tower. This is something that TA does really well, because a lot of people, instead of hitting this mid tower, might have gone to farm the jungle. But even though towers are worth less money, especially the mid tower and on Radiant, just chipping away at this tower is really good because it'll open you up for trades later, and it makes the game really hard for the opponents when they have to play around a 200 HP tower on their side. So that was really good. And you also have to be able to judge on the enemy team as a puck. Like, if I leave this lane and TA is able to just free farm mid and hit my tower, is it worth it? Do I need to call support there so that when TA's mid, the support can just pull the creeps off the tower, farm the store safely here, and TA has to jungle instead? Sure, TA gets a lot of farm, but then maybe I'll create some space for my team by killing someone in the enemy lane. My support will get some levels mid, and like those are some things that you have to consider when you're sort of playing a bit Dota at a high level, and that's important for improvement. Just being able to think about like every movement you make on the map, you should know what you're gonna gain and lose out of it. Anyways, TA's just fine. I want to go ahead now. Go ahead. Alright, so at this point, TA has secured a significant lead, but what's happening is that as we watch this match, TA never really breaks the enemy's jungle. She farms a lot in her own jungle, which, while it's nice, it also means that her allies have to farm in less safe places. And how it generally works is you want heroes that can farm quickly to farm on the enemy side of the map. So like TA farms camps really quickly because she has side blades and refraction. And she's also a bit hardier than most heroes because of refraction. She has traps. She also went blink, which I don't like. I'll talk about that in a bit. And heroes like Spectre have to farm on the other side of the map, who have to like sit there in vision for a long time just hitting creeps. Whereas TA, she would 3-shot the wave and then she'd be able to move to jungle. She's off the map. They don't quite know where she is. They have to smoke together usually because she will have a trap here. You know, it's hard to get her. And she can farm this. So take away from the enemy's farm. But Spectre's just staying down here. You're getting all your jungle, you're getting all 3 lanes, but you won't be getting that much of their jungle because Spectre just farms so slow. She's just auto-attacking creeps. Whereas if TA was here, maybe you get 1 last camp in your jungle, but you get 2 more in the enemy jungle, and that's actually a big gold difference that way. Anyways, about the blink. Okay, I need to bring it back. I'm getting some water. Alright, so anyways, how did I just lose my entire chain of thought? Anyways, so if TA farmed the enemy jungle before that fight, I think, well, one, that fight would have happened because she would have been in the enemy jungle, but that wasn't my point. I was going to talk about Blink Dagger. Sorry about that. Okay, so Blink Dagger, the reason I don't like Blink Dagger this game is because when you're considering items, you should know exactly what your item is going to do. So when you get Blink Dagger on a hero like TA, it's not really to initiate. It's because during a team fight, you want to be able to jump on a high value enemy hero that's really squishy. So Blink Dagger is really good, for example, when they have a hero like a Wisp, because you're basically always going to want to kill that Wisp first, because Wisp is really annoying. She's really strong if she stays alive, and she dies in 2 hits. Whereas this game, like, there's no one you can really jump. I mean, Luna's a decent jump target, but it's still not the best. So I would have preferred if she just went Yasha to Deso, so you can speed up your farming pattern that way. And that also lets you farm the enemy jungle again really fast. And a Star team, after having a lost team fight, makes some nice plays. So they catch up in that fight. And even though the fight went so poorly, Luna got a lot of farm out of that. It sort of ended up being okay. But anyways, TA, again, she's just going to farm the enemy jungle. Her own jungle. Since she's farming her own jungle, well, let's ignore the fact that she got ganked. But since she's farming her own jungle and sort of her top lane, one, she's sort of vulnerable up here because you want heroes on the enemy side of the map to put pressure on. And then two, Luna's going to be able to farm her own jungle. And again, ignore this pick off because while it wasn't so relevant that Luna's able to farm her jungle, she just dies here, which apparently she doesn't. She does. Spectre? Spectre? Oh, Spectre with Stagger? Ooh. 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 Spectre still gets... Oh!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Irrelevant, but sort of sad. Anyways, Luna was able to farm her own jungle, whereas a TA could have just chased her out of the jungle. And again, back to the thing about pickoffs. You might think like, but won't I be more vulnerable if I'm on the enemy side of the map farming their jungle? It's sort of yes and no, because if they pick you off on your side of the map like this, that means that, not this pick off because they trade for it, but that means that they're going to have control over your jungle. And they'll be on your side of the map. There'll be pressure on your towers when you get picked off close to your base. If you get picked off on the enemy side of the map, when you're really far from your towers and stuff like that, you're actually... I mean, you don't want to constantly die, but you are creating space by getting picked off there. Because one, your enemy, your entire team knows their enemy heroes are in their own jungle, which means like, if they're here, this entire part of the map is safe. If they're here, then only like, it's really far to run from like here to try to get farm, whereas retreating into your own jungle, and that is the worst drawing ever. It's really hard to rotate into the enemy jungle to get farm if you're not already there, whereas it's really easy to start in the enemy jungle, and if they go there, you know that your jungle is safe. If they get picked in your jungle and then you lose vision of them, you don't know if their jungle is safe, because they could have... Good teams will, like, they'll get a pick here, they'll clear your jungle, and then they'll rotate out, chase you, they'll TP down, chase you out of their jungle, and then they might even get a pick on you if you slowly rotate down here. So again, TA is farming her own jungle, and his allies are using a good space for that. You wanna, like, his allies are making it sort of work for him, which is good, but ideally you want to be able to take map control. You want people in your woods farming everything. You want to be able to like push you want this tier 1 to be dead first of all, because it makes it really hard for Radiant to farm these camps. And then you want to sort of have the map pushed like this, and you want to restrict it like this. Because if TA's farm these 3 camps, you're getting these 5 camps, and each team is getting 3 lanes. That's an 800 around GPM swing going in favor of your team. And I mean, 800 is a lot, right? Like if you think about it, 10 minutes past that's 8,000 gold swing on the graph. And like our team has been dominating, and they're not even 8,000 gold ahead. If they just maintain this map position for 10 minutes, then they're going to be 8,000 gold ahead. And I know Dota's not as simple as that. Like, the enemy team's obviously going to try to stop you from doing that. Oh no, he didn't get dual damage. Oh no, Spectre's dead still, but he didn't get dual damage. How sad. It's because he didn't pop blade, I think. Or he did. But anyways, even though Dota's not that simple, I think it's still true that that's still the position you want the map to be in, basically. You want this tower to be dead, and TA's doing a good job. Like, even though her team will die. Oh, this is actually a good example of it. When her team died down here, she knows she's really safe to take this tower because they're so far from their base, you know? It's hard for them to get up here, and she's in a really safe spot. So since they created space down here, she's able to push this wave out, and then she's able to get all 5 camps in the jungle. She farms it quickly. She has 5 camps in the jungle because her team died here. If her team died up here, it's sort of spooky to go for these camps, you know? Because you don't know if the Nyx rotate and start setting up for a kill. Anyways, pick up double damage, get Roshan. Blue Rune of Justice, free Roshan, sort of unfair, whatever, what can you do? Minus 15 armor TA, kill Roshan.
Is under attack.
That's basically the main thing about this game. That it's not the best replay, but I think because like you should be able to learn from any Dota game, even if you get stomped or the enemy's stomping. Like if you're trying to learn, you'll be able to learn. That's what I think about Dota usually. And when you have Aegis, you can go in like this. It's really nice. Good play by TA, honestly. It's going in, going ham. We're going to get free Luna kill. She pops Eclipse. It does nothing. They wiped them. At this point, the game's pretty much over. But as soon as this happens, again, since you have Aegis, you should be thinking like really quickly, like, what are we getting out of this? TA farms these two camps, which means that her creep wave actually dies here. If she had ran straight mid, I think they would have got tier 2, or she would push it up to here, farmed these camps, and then farmed right. And then instead of having to go back to heal, she would have, again, you would have taken the enemy's farm. You maybe could have taken their ancients, and then her allies could have taken this bottom tier 2, swooped up here, taking control of their own jungle, and you would have, again, outfarmed them really hard. Like, farming patterns are really important in Dota. I talked about this before. I think I should do a video on it, but like, I think concepts like micro and macro are important in Dota. Like they're StarCraft terms, but I think that when people are trying to learn, it's nice to be able to sort of compress concepts, I guess. I don't really know how to say it because I'm stupid, but like if macro is like your farming pattern and stuff like that, you can say, oh, it's good to focus on learning, improving your macro side of the game. And that'll help people learn, I think. I don't know. But anyways, I consider macro like your farming pattern and item choices and stuff that you can sort of plan ahead of time. Whereas micro is going to be your in-battle engagements and stuff like that, where you're clicking spells and pressing buttons.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But yeah. Honestly, this probably wasn't the best replay. So this replay analysis is going to be sort of short. I need to find a better replay to do for next time, but I was going to like play pub and then go over this replay properly, but I queued for 30 minutes, so I wasn't really able to do any of that. Anyways, he just one-shot Nyx. So this game is pretty much over, but I think the core concepts of this game is like, it's always going to be in these replay analysis is taking farm away from your enemy by farming their jungle, creating pressure on the map, and making sure like your item choices reflect what you want to do in the game. So if you have a Blink Dagger, you want to get really aggressive and go for plays on their squishy heroes, which I don't think was as good this game. TA Yashadasa is really good because when you're fast. I like Phase Boots too, but treads are fine, especially for mid since you're bottle. You're spamming bottle a lot, but once you get Phase Yasha Deso, you can two-shot creep waves, which means that when you're down here farming in the enemy side of the map, you two-shot the creep wave, so you're on the screen for like 2 seconds, and then you find an enemy jungle, and then you're out of there. The enemy doesn't really know where you are, so it makes it really hard for them to play. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to cover for this game, I think. As far as countering when the enemy goes in your jungle, which I guess I should talk about that, since I think that's the best way to play, like just getting inside your enemy jungle and farming their side of the map, is like you want wards for the entry points in your jungle. Especially if you're behind, you need to protect that. And when an enemy gets in your jungle, you also need to like try to get in their jungle, and they're sort of a bit more spread out when they're farming your jungle. So maybe you can smoke in, get a pick here, or even smoke in here. Like a lot of teams, they smoke in and they clear their own jungle, get these defensive wards up, and then they can try to move to the enemy jungle to get some map control. But there aren't that many counters, because worst case scenario, like if you maybe not as a TA, but say you're Enigma and you farm these camps 3 times, and then you get picked off, and the enemy has to bring like 3 heroes there to kill you, it's actually a win for Enigma still, because one, if you farm these 2 camps 3 times, that's 600 gold. That's about what they're gonna get from killing you. I mean, they get a bit more, but you farm a bit of these ways here, and then they dedicate 3 heroes time to killing you, in which time like your ally should be pressuring other the other side of the map and getting free form of their own jungle, and you're just creating space that way. Yeah. So basically, create space for your team by farming aggressively. And I think that's pretty much all I have for this replay analysis. Thanks for watching. Sorry this one was sort of short. I looked through the game before and I knew it was sort of going to be shitty, but I wanted to do replay analysis, so I'll do another better one soonish, I think. Yeah. And do you have anything else? Leave your comments in YouTube about the video. And please submit your replays. I'll put the information in YouTube, and I'm going back to streaming on Twitch after this. I am closing my stream, restarting my stream so I can cut the video because I am bad at editing.